Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel Living in Canada. I hope all of you are having a great day so far. The reason that you clicked on this video might be because you just received your PR, in which case a big congratulations to you. Yay, you did it. And perhaps you're wondering now whether or not you need to update or renew your SIN number. So in this video I will talk about that, and I will also talk about how you can apply to get for a new SIN number. But just a disclaimer up front, I am not an immigration advisor, I am not a financial advisor, so everything that I'm sharing with you in this video is purely based on my own experience, as well as everything that is actually available on the net, including on the canada.ca website. So let's get right into it. Even though you already had a SIN number as a student or as a worker here, the moment that you get your PR, your permanent residence, you need to get a new SIN number. You need to update your SIN number, and the number will actually change. And there are actually two ways to do that. The first one is the one that you're probably already familiar with, which is to apply in person. And I would personally say that that is the best way, although not the most efficient way. So you basically go to a Service Canada office that is located closest to you and you apply there in person. And I'm just gonna briefly compare applying in person versus online, because up until now I have experience with both of these methods. So what's the benefit of applying in person? The benefit of applying in person is, I think, that you get to meet someone, so that in case you still have other outstanding questions about your SIN card, anything that you want to clarify, you have the opportunity to ask the person directly. And another benefit is also that if you apply in person at the Service Canada office, you will usually, if your documents are complete, get your SIN number directly issued to you. They will print out a piece of paper and hand it over to you, and you will pocket it, you will safekeep it, so there's practically no way that it can get lost or stolen or copied, right? But the downside to that is obviously that it might take you more time. You might need to take some time off from work, or you need to extend your lunch break just so that you can have enough time to get into the queue, get through the queue, and get your SIN number. So now let's get to the other method, which is applying online, and that is what I actually recently did. Let's talk about the advantages first. The advantages of applying online is that you can do it from the comfort of your own home. It's very fast. It actually takes you less than 5 minutes, even if you have all your documents. But the downside is that, first, obviously you can't talk to anyone if you apply online. If you have any other questions you want to ask, you can't ask them. And the other downside is also that if you apply online, you obviously have to wait for the SIN number to arrive in your mailbox, because they will send you a physical printout of your SIN number and mail it to your address. And that takes around 2 weeks. At least in my case, it took me around 2 weeks. But that's actually not a problem. The only problem that you might have, or where there's a risk, is if your SIN number gets lost in the mail. So it normally doesn't happen, but it's something that can happen, right? I mean, you might have experienced it before, where you're waiting for something to get delivered to you and it just didn't arrive. At least that is what once happened to me with the Christmas cards that I sent to a friend in Europe through Canada Post, but that's a story for another time. Anyways, so you want to really avoid your SIN number getting lost or getting stuck somewhere. So if the envelope which contains your SIN number document somehow gets lost in the mail, obviously there is a risk that someone might get their hands on it and get access to your SIN number. But I think that the possibility of that happening is actually really, really low. And of course, if your SIN number doesn't arrive after several weeks, you would contact Service Canada and ask them what's going on. But the process might just be complicated, because then you need to explain to them that it didn't arrive when you applied and so on. So I would say, in general, if you have time, try and just go to Service Canada and get it done right away. But then you might be asking, so why did I apply online then? So at that time, I was really busy and I just couldn't find the time to go to Service Canada. So I thought, okay, let's just try and do it online. And if I succeed, then yeah, maybe I can make a video for you guys explaining how it went. So now let's get into the process of applying online. And it's actually very easy. So the first thing that you do is just simply type into Google, if you're using Google, apply for SIN online. And then you'll get to this link which says social insurance number apply at canada.ca. So you click on that and you scroll all the way down after you read all the information and disclaimers, of course. It says apply for a SIN. To find out which documents you must provide, select the scenario that best describes your situation. So in this case, you are likely to be applying for yourself unless you're a parent of a minor or you're a legal representative, which you are likely not. And then the second question is select your status in Canada. So if you just got your PR, you would select you are a permanent resident, because now you are already officially a permanent resident. How would you like to apply? Here, because if you want to apply online, you go to online, and then it immediately lists all the documents that are required for this. And it's really, really easy. You can submit everything digitally. The only requirement is that it must be either in English or in French, and it has to be valid, of course, not expired. And let's just look at the documents. So there are in total 3 kinds of documents that you need to upload. The first one is your primary identity document. And that is either your permanent resident card, the physical card that you scan, in case you already received that. But I know that many people have not received their PR cards yet. And in that case, you can also use your COPR, or your confirmation of permanent residence. Confirmation of permanent residence issued by IRCC with a travel document, a photo identification, and so on. So this is what you need to append in case you use the COPR. So this one is pretty easy, but there are a few other documents that you can use, which I'll get to in a second. So let's look at the second document first. So there's a secondary document that you need to prove your identity, and that can be either a passport or a Canadian provincial or territorial ID card, or a driver's license, or any other Canadian government issued ID. And it must have your family name, your given name, and the date of birth, obviously. And the third thing that you need is proof of address. And again, this is also pretty simple. You basically need a document that is issued by either the government, a company, an institution, an organization, a landlord, which contains your name, your surname, and given name. So in the case of a document issued by a company or institution, that would usually be bank statement, credit card statement, phone bills, etc. And if it's issued by a landlord, it's your tenancy agreement. If it's issued by an employer, it's your employment contract, employment agreement, which is signed. And number 4, finally, supporting document. But this is only needed if your name on any document provided is different from the name that you put on the SIN application. So this is just an additional document that you need to provide. So let's look at some other documents that you can also use. You can simply click on this here, SIN required documents, for more details. Let's go and open this. So on this page, if you scroll down under primary identity document, if you go under permanent residence, you can read some further details below here about the document that you need. So here it notes regarding COPR that if you use the COPR within 1 year of becoming PR, then it is acceptable. If you're past that 1 year, then you cannot use COPR any longer, and you have to use your PR card. And then below here, you can find more information on the details for the various documents required. There are a few important things to note. For example, for proof of address, it is not sufficient to just provide a scan of an envelope. So it has to be the letter with the official letterhead. So overall, the process went pretty smooth for me. It took me roughly 5 minutes to complete the online application because I had all the documents available already. And it took around 2 weeks for the SIN document to arrive in my mailbox. So that was pretty fast as well. Okay guys, I hope that this video was useful to you. If you have any questions, leave them down in the comments below. Also, if you have any suggestions for future videos, I'll be happy to hear about those. Thank you so much for watching. Have an awesome day and see you again next time.